And now, after that,
About to
we
say.
get to go back to modern at its finest, the way we know and love it. It's a Nadu mirror, folks. Strap in and get a nice groove in your chair, because this will be a lot of fun.
I really didn't want to be the one to announce that then to other people. I was trying to think of a nice way to cushion it and get it in. But yeah, we are going to see, maybe for the last time, we don't know, but it is going to be a Nadu mirror going head to head. So we're going to bring this in its entirety, maybe all like 9 turns that it will take to finish this match. But both players 8-3, so they need this win to stay in contention to get into today's top 8. I see Bant versus 4-color. What is the main difference? Talk to me, Dom.
The main difference is the 4th color, right? So black is for Bowmaster, which makes you a bit more resilient against some of the control decks and Necro and so on. Some sideboard options like Thoughtseize, and there's a Grist that you can Summoners Pact for or Call of Calling for now. But the cost there is, your mana gets a bit worse. You can't support stuff like Urza Saga as easily, and you're just slower in the mirror, which arguably is the thing that matters most at this point.
Yeah, especially with everything on the line. I was about to say, was that a Venso I just saw in the hand there?
It sure was.
Let's go. Okay, I've now got a favorite, even though we're commentators, we don't have favorites, but I love that there's a Venso in play in 2024 Modern. Nadu drawn for the turn.
Joins up with fellow Time Spiral Block All-Star Outrider Encore there in Drew's hand.
Not having severe lands on both sides. One likes the card, one did not like the card. Second land drop for turn. Maybe it's going to be a... Yep, we're going to go with Urza Saga. Have you seen the new promo version of Urza Saga that's floating around at the minute?
The Texas one?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty,
of all the cards to remove text from as a bit, I mean, I think Urza Saga is a great one. Although, to be fair, often with Saga, it's confusing, but not for reasons that are explained on the card, right? You still have to call a judge to go over, if this has this ability removed in response to this, like what happens? And none of that, reading the card does not actually explain the card in that case, even when it has text on it.
No, it's so funny how you put that. It is so true as well. The art reminds me of, remember Mutavault, when the full art Mutavault? It's kind of that sort of picturesque. It's just equally as beautiful. But we're going to see a lot of them coming around. I believe they're like the store championship promos or something for the next couple events over the month. Orcish Bowmaster was the turn 2 play though, so we do get to turn both of them sideways, get a bit of that chip damage in. That might be what this game comes down to at the end of it. We are 1 blue mana away though on Drew's side of getting a Nadu down and being able to equip it, start getting his triggers going. And this looks like we need to get that blue mana off the Misty. Is there anything we could do in response? We don't have the mana up to cord for anything to potentially steal it like we saw earlier on. But then how bad can this be? What are like the perfect 2 hits if we play a Nadu this turn and equip it twice?
Equip it twice, let's see. I mean, you can always keep the chain going by hitting like a land and a wheel, right? And then you re-roll again to get to spin the wheel more.
Well, there's
I guess
the land.
in the short term, if Drew is worried about, let's say, cord for Stormdrake or something, then a route to Sylvan Safekeeper would be nice. Cord's a nice start.
Literally, if it hits a land and hits a cord, literally hit a land, hit a cord.
Well, the issue is it just has to pass, and now that Saga's on 2 for Quentin, so going to see Shuko coming out of that, I imagine, and then the Coast is clear for Quentin to do the thing, except they also having Bowmaster and a construct and Orkami there. Like that's we're not missing at that point. That's 8 looks with more to come.
We would, yeah, there's a lot happening here. So we are going to make that construct token. We generate a second green source of mana. That could be key, especially if there's a cord in hand. So we do need 3 green sources for that to happen. So untap, draw. Now what we're just going to float the mana straight up, sure. I think that was a Natuko that was drawn for the turn. Like the speed that these players are moving. Summoners Pact. Okay, that's the other one. You're pretty familiar with casting that one, aren't you?
Yeah, and this is another card which you got your 4 Nadus, you got your 4 Quarter Callings, and you still want more Nadus, but how many do you want? And then is Summoner's Pact really the best way to get more of those? So this is the card which, again, usually a 4 or 0 kind of card, but here it's, you find like 1 to 3 copies in some number.
So what if I said to you, Dom, they've got 4 Primeval Titans. They don't need the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th way to get it. How would you feel if I said put it in that way?
Well, it's weird because they don't let you start with it as a companion or something. I can't have Premier Titan as my commander. You could have Nadu as commander, and people do, and people get mad at them, and they're not their friends anymore. But here in Modern, you got to find that redundancy in some other way.
Okay, we're starting this loop. We're starting this train. For anyone that's just tuned in and hasn't watched Modern since MH3, what is this loop that we're seeing right now?
So right now it's not a loop quite yet, but with Nadu and Shuko, you get to activate the equipability on the Shuko for free. That's going to trigger the Nadu, and then you can do that for each creature up to 2 times per turn cycle. So right now that's 8+ cards, and then with the Spring Heart Nantuko, every land you flip into play, which is untapped, remember, also brings a creature, so that's 2 more looks, and then you just keep spinning the wheel from there, get through your entire deck, and then from there, the Water Oyster, lots of different ways you can win. Can keep it simple with Thassa's Oracle and the like, or can feel very smart explaining, or very dumb potentially, explaining these endurance loops to your opponent.
And there's the land, so that generates another token. So that's another creature, another 2 looks. Now we're going to fetch. That's going to generate another land. That's going to generate another insect. That gives us the ability to play the Safekeeper that we just drawn as well. Look at these amazing camera angles. Appreciate all the hard work the production team is doing on this. Or we're going to play another Natuku. So every land now is going to generate 2. Orcish Bowmaster. Wall of Roots. These are not lands. The last 2 shots. 1 more shot. It's a land. That's going to generate 2 more insects. That gives us another 4 looks. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, this might be one of the last times we ever see this on camera. But who knows?
Hopefully. What? Wait, what?
Dom, we're coming at this from 2 different angles, my friend. Very, very different angles.
We need some good background music while all this is going on, like yakety sax or... open a browser, go to YouTube, find whatever soundtrack you think is appropriate, and just blast it into your ears while this is happening.
All right, so we're shortcutting now. We're going to look at the full deck because what is going to happen inevitably, the odds are extremely low that we don't end up hitting lands in the next 6 looks that keeps the spiral going. So Drew will look at the whole deck before it ends up this loop is generated and the game is won. So he's like, look, just pass me your deck. Let me see all the cards you got in your main because this is a closed deckless tournament till he gets to the top 8 and then he's going to scoop up the cards. And we're going to see Quentin take down game number 1 as we go into the sideboards. So, as we mentioned, we've got a straight up Bant version and a 4-color version. That makes me think that there's got to be some good sideboard options in this 4-color deck. What are they, Dom?
So you got your Thought Seizers, and those are pretty flexible, right? But and they're going to come in here, I imagine, but maybe not as good as you would expect because both decks are so redundant. And then if you're taking time out of your development to cast your Thoughtseize, where you're spending a card, you're spending a mana on that, on a card which they can probably find another copy of given enough time. So unclear if you really got anywhere. And then there's no silver bullet for Caller Calling or something which black opens up that you didn't have already. So actually, I think the overall changes there are pretty minimal where the mirror is concerned.
Okay. Are there any redundant cards? Are there any cards that you don't want to see in a mirror that you're definitely boarding out and trying to, upgrade them, so to speak? Or is it because it's a mirror that it is just going to be 2 ships passing in the wind?
Yeah, mostly 2 ships passing in the night, the wind, everything else. If you have sideboard cards, then you got to make room for those somehow, right? So you got to trim away at some stuff here and there. But for the most part, you look at like a Nadu main deck, all of those cards, 1 or 2 exceptions, are pretty good in the mirror. So it's kind of hard to find room, even if you had a bunch of stuff, which is, I think, part of why you don't see people just devoting like 10 sideboard slots to the mirror, because A, it's not clear how you're meant to do that. There's no easy way to gain an edge. And then also, you still need to be able to do your thing reliably, and you can't hack away your own deck too much to do that.
Yeah, I think that's something that like newer players fall short of is they think, okay, these 8 cards are going to be great. I'm bringing these 8 cards in, and then they end up losing the game. And I don't understand why I wasn't able to do my game plan. It's more because they diluted the game plan of the generic 60 cards that they brought. So by diluting it, gives you the less chance to win the game, but you think you've got the better cards in the matchup, and it's something hard to kind of learn early on. But the more you play, the more reps you get in that format, the more you understand that. Oh, hold on, maybe this isn't what I need to be doing. Maybe I just need to designate the 4, 5, potentially 6 slots to whatever matchups you think. And if you get to the higher end, you'll just start putting some of these great cards in the main deck, find slots in there, because there's always going to be flex slots in most decks that you play. So if you hedge towards a certain meta, you can take those. You can almost come pre-sideboarded, which is what I would be doing if I was playing this weekend. I would bring, knowing that Nadu is going to be the best deck, the most played deck. I'm going to hedge by playing. Let's say I'm playing Boros, playing some harsh mentals in the main.
Sure. And yeah, we've seen, I think, people winning RCQs with like 4 main deck harsh mentors in their prowess decks or whatever, which I guess is effective. Probably a sign of how bad things have got if you need to do that. But if you're determined to beat them rather than joining them, I guess that there are extreme ways you can do it.
That's always been my way, Dom. That's what I mean. Realistically, I'm a Jaguar player. This should be the perfect switch to me, is to play this deck. I just, I'll tell you the truth, Dom. I refuse to buy Shukos. They spiked in price too much for me. I was like, nah, I'm not buying that card. I'm moving on from it. So hopefully that'll be a good non-investment for me in a couple of weeks' time. As we finish up sideboarding, what's your favorite sleeve color of choice, Dom?
Favorite sleeve color? I'm kind of like a light to dark blue kind of guy for the most part. Yeah, I mean, this mint color is pretty nice. Some nice pink sleeves can be very fetching too. But usually I'm found rocking like art sleeves of some kind, or so those are a bunch of different colors because it's hard to make out the art otherwise.
You're a mix and match, okay? I got you. Like I literally try and sleeve every card that I own in the same turquoise color, just so they all match. And it's not because I like turquoise; it's just because that's happened to be the random pack that I picked up. Sleeved the deck and got really bored, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to keep going with this one color for the rest."
That's
of it.
very practical of you. I respect that.
And look, you give a task to a lazy man, he'll find the best way to do it. That's what they say. Chat, let me know what's your favorite card sleeves as we're going to be kicking off this game number 2 in round number 12. Or not. We're going to go back to the ball. We're going to shuffle up. We don't like that opening hand. We're going to throw it back and potentially try and shore up our combo a little bit quicker, or at least have some sort of disruption if on the other side they decide to go for it. But Drew being on the play, that's in itself an advantage, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think people can say, oh, I have this kind of tech for the mirror, or I'm respecting the mirror in this way. I think all of that matters so much less than just being on the play. But Drew is on the play because Quentin won game 1. So, yeah, that's by default, not by luck of the draw. So, Drew looking to win this one on a multi-6 and then hopefully break serve in that decisive game 3.
All right, now we get a look at the open hand. We decided to keep this, put 1 to the bottom. Couple of lands. Bird. Obviously, this is the bird that everyone's hoping gets abandoned in a couple of weeks, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, just ban all birds just to be safe. So ban this one, ban, I don't know, Aven Interrupter, all Avens just dead on arrival now.
I was trying to think like how many birds can we name off the top of our heads.
That's going to be that's a fun game to play with chat in between rounds.
Chat, let us know. Oh, look, we got a Kari B. How you doing, my friend? Congrats on your recent success in the old of Magic. Saw you yesterday go to the top 4. You got to and you qualified as well for the Arena Champs. Absolutely killing it at the minute, as well as killing it in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. What can't he do? I'm so jealous of that man.
Gilded Goose, done. Get it out of there.
There you go. We've done it. 1 and done. Let's move on. Let's go.
We've had enough.
I'm sure there's some other birds out there that we see a lot of play that we're just not thinking of, because this one that we're seeing cast right now takes all the credit. It is Nadu. The power, and like so, it's just 3 mana for a 3/4 fly is great, let alone this extra ability. And the follow-up card is a Shuko. This is the 1-2 punch.
It is a cruel joke that you can't even bolt the bird anymore. You have to galvanic discharge it or whatever.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thing is, even if you did that in this situation right now, you could just trigger the combo, and like some crazy shenanigans will happen. So we're gonna go through it. First trigger, second trigger, fourth. So now we're getting a little bit of information to Quentin here. Knows that came in the sideboard. First trigger, another land. But we're not generating insect tokens here, so we don't have like the a way of getting all the extra creatures. But sacrificing those 2 land gets 2 untapped sources. We can play the Natuko in hand, and now all future lands, well, they're going to be turned into insects, and we might just be going to a game 3 momentarily.
Yeah,
Now,
even if Drew misses on all remaining triggers from here, he has the Force Figure, so he can pass, destroy the Saga and the Nantuko in upkeep, and that's gonna officially do it. So I think at this point, Quentin just try to see some more information again, right? See if any other sideboard cards get revealed, what they need to play around going into game 3, and then we will see that game 3 before we know it.
Kai's chirping in. See what I did there? Chirping in about the abandoning the birds. Squadron Hawk gone. Beltric Strix gone. Don't want those birds anymore. Get rid of them.
Be sure to list all your least favorite birds that you would like to see yeeted out of Magic officially.
So I was trying to get one up. I was MTG birds, and it's just turn up with a load of Birds of Paradise. That's like that. That apparently is all you get when you Google MTG bird.
I mean, shout out to Birds of Paradise also hosting some good online tournaments, but don't want to ban them. They can keep doing their thing. That's the one that we
keep around. That's the one we keep around. Is Stormcrow a bird or is it a crow?
Don't care. Done. It's over.
Done. Get rid of it. Ban. Get that one out of it. Are we classing owls in this as well? Are owls birds? Are we getting rid of them, or are we keeping the owls?
I'm no ornithologist, but I think they're birds, and because they're birds, they're banned. Get them out. Done.
Anything with wings? Are we getting rid of dragons now?
Okay, now we're getting very philosophical. I'm not sure officially, canonically, if dragons are birds, but close enough. Just to be safe. You know, we don't want anyone slipping through the cracks.
Let's go back to look. Jurassic Park is in Magic now. Velociraptors. I've seen Jurassic Park. Raptors are descendants of birds. Are we getting rid of raptors as well?
Yeah, all dinosaurs are gone. And Raptor, it had its fun. Over.
I feel like we're not allowed to work for Wizards ever. I feel like they couldn't
anything with wings. Anything with wings, out of there. And I mean, there were ostriches too. There were flightless birds. Got to make sure that they're taken out back and sent to the pond in the sky.
Yep, can't have them. Having a little look at whatever sort of birds I could find quickly on my old Google, but chat's getting involved as well. But okay, yeah, I think we leave angels alone. I don't need that karma. Angels can stay. That's the one thing with wings that we can stay. You know.
Swans of Bryn Argyle is a great one because the whole combo with that back in the day was you would keep trying to hit the swans with like a giant fiery hammer or something, and it would just keep drawing cards instead. It kind of wanted you to hit it. It was taunting you.
Even Mind Sensor, get out of it. Don't want that anymore. No more bird wizards allowed in this format.
Definitely get Even Mind Sensor out of there. If we only kill one bird to like make an example out of the rest of them, we can have it be that one.
Said all Titan players ever. What else we got going on bird-wise? There isn't actually that many birds when I'm trying to find it. It's just a lot of Birds of Paradise. Who would have thought that this was the go-to card when you typed in the word bird? Come on, chat, help us out on this. I'm trying to think if there's an artifact bird I could find. What's this? This is a... Oh, it's in some other language I don't know how to say. We'll skip that one. Okay. Anyway, back to the chat. Back to the stream. We're moving away from the bird band chat as we get into game number 3 here of Nadu versus Nadu. Both plays 8 and 3. This is round number 12 of 13 that we're bringing you before we cut to the top 8 today, where those RC invites are on the line. The MXP invites are on the line. 10 and 3 records is what all players are striving towards. We think that is the cutoff to get them in as players are drawing their opening hands. How is 6-land Natuko? Is that good for you? You keeping that?
I'm sure not. And see, Nantuko is one of those cards which it looks so impressive and integral to the combo when you're going off, but I actually like shaving a copy or two in the mirrors because before that point, it's not a combo enabler by itself, and then also it's not interaction, it's not stopping their combo, and it can be susceptible to stuff like Force Vigor coming from the other side. So when every card has like at least one pretty clearly defined role, a card like Nantuko can kind of get lost in the shuffle a bit sometimes.
Okay, we're going to take a mulligan over on Do side. Remember, on the draw now as well. So let's have a... Are you a power shuffler? Are you a ripple shuffler? Are you like any fanciness, or do you? I'm just one that just jams them together and like destroys my sleeves every time I go to a tournament.
I do have those like clumsy kind of very like ape-like hands where if I try doing that and I catch it at the wrong angle, then my cards just go flying everywhere. And so I had to teach myself to do this very like dainty overhand shuffle, which I think I've got down to a T now. But I was always jealous of when people would have unsleeved cards and they would like do the like bridge shuffle with either end. And it would make this incredibly satisfying sound as all the cards like cascaded interleaving each other. But that one's still a stretch goal for me.
I want someone to be a baller at the at World Championships at MagicCon Las Vegas at the end of the year. There's obviously going to be a live cube draft happening. I really want someone playing in that to just go no sleeved. I'm just playing it raw and just like start shuffling with potentially a bunch of power. Just go full old school. I'd love to see it, but here we are.
Well, if you go in the YouTube rabbit hole far enough, you find Magic coverage from the 90s, and in some cases, players were forbidden from playing with sleeves in Pro Tour Top 8s. And so you watch like the Chicago Finals, Bob Meyer versus Brian Davis. Fantastic, all-time great match for many, many reasons. But one of them is you see Bob like cracking a floodplain because the Onslaught fetch lands hadn't been printed yet, going through his deck, finding a original dual land, and then just grabbing his unsleeved deck and like riffle shuffling the halves together. It's horrifying and beautiful at the same time.
You're really calling us out as boomies on this stream. We've only come to the end of fourth round here, but I think everybody's fully understands that we are in the booming territory when it comes to Magic and references like that. But I'd love to see it. Everyone should go check it out. Go check it out on the old YouTubes. I love clearly I love watching old coverage. So look, we got Quentin at 7, Drew going down to 5 cards.
Look, we're all mortal, right? And we can either embrace our mortality or we can do the whole "how do you do, fellow kids" routine and pretend that we can save it off, but we can't, and we know that, so we're just going to run with it.
No, we're starting the ban the bird march. I found another one, Mockingbird, recently printed, and seen a bit of modern play.
Love that one. That's a sweet design. Let me tell you.
I do like that card as well. I think it's pretty cool, especially when you're copying your Ocelots Pride and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But keep letting us know which bad birds you want banned, chat, as we kick off game number 3 here. Quentin on the play, kept that opening 7, Drew down to 5, uphill battle. Winner gets to have a winning in the next round to get into the top 8. Loser, well, they're just going to be playing to get themselves into the top 32 for prizes. But as we go Tomon Shuko into a Windsweep Heath.
So drawing 5 on the draw, not a great spot. That said, those 5 cards include Wall of Roots, Dismember, Nadu. So he's kind of got most of what he needs and a piece of interaction, and all it takes would be a top deck Shuko, even a top deck Caller Calling, Sylvan Save People, whatever, and Drew might be off to the races. So it shows you just how powerful this Nadu deck is, that he's missing this key thing, but he still has the resources to work with, even on 5 cards, and so many copies of that missing piece that his odds are actually pretty good, especially with, to bring it all full circle, the Surveil lands, which give him like double the looks at for every fetch land.
Yeah, we spoke about how good these Surveil lands are in the formats that have fetch lands in them.
And he keeps
able to do that. Yeah, like I want that. Okay. That's my second land. Saga, that's my Shuko in 3 turns.
Puts the Saga directly into play from the top. Plays Wall of Roots and is going to pass holding up Dismember. So Quentin does have the Nadu, but Drew has a Dismember to answer that. So Drew's still going to be playing a turn behind schedule. Like if Quentin has a follow-up Nadu, this is still a rough spot. But Drew could easily just draw his own copy of Shuko and start going.
So I'm going to ask about timing at the minute. Like, so no matter what, Nadu's going to get 2 triggers here, right?
Yeah.
Should I be using this Dismember straight away, or should I just wait for the second copy, the second trigger? Because the third time when I target it with a Dismember, it won't trigger the Nadu. Or is it just 6 of one, half dozen of another?
Yeah, because either way, so you do it in response to the first one, that's going to generate the second Nadu trigger on top. If you wait till the first one resolves, then you basically end up in the same position of a Nadu trigger has resolved before your Dismember will, except that that card has kind of already been flipped, so there's a little bit more information. So doesn't matter too much. There's no way to kind of to fudge that really.
So here we're going to fetch this Temple in, and we do have a.
Yeah.
We've got
So
Nadu in
this
hand, but we're
is
not going to deploy it. We've got a Notawara that we could hold up in case another Nadu comes down on the other side. Then we can untap our own Nadu.
exactly.
And I love it. I love this line. This is a great line. Obviously, Quentin's probably thinking, oh, there's a quarter calling or something on the other side. Could quarter calling for free at this current board state.
Yeah, and you see Wall of Roots coming in clutch, where it gets to cast the halfling for free, effectively, and then still be able to make mana on the opponent's turn as well. So, basically, making 2 mana across these turn cycles. And Quentin looks like does have second Nadu, but Drew has the Otawara. So 2 more triggers here.
So Otawara.
But we'll get to go. Okay.
There's another little stack again. So we get 1 trigger from the Nadu, and then the second trigger already is on the stack because of the Shooker being equipped. That's a Thoughtseize. I know that one, Dom. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Also Thoughtseize. And a Nadu.
But that's okay. That's going to stop it. So, okay, Shuko equips to Wall of Roots. Sure. But I think Quentin now has to pass the turn. Which means Drew gets the Saga goes to chapter 3, finds Shuko, and Drew has the Nadu.
And this is
That's
what
the last
Force
card.
of Vigor? Force of Vigor upkeep? No? Okay.
Yeah, and so Quentin does have his own wall, so that could represent Dismember or something potentially. But that's what it has to be. And Drew, on the draw and a more to 5, it may very well be in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, I think this is why F6 buttons were invented. So here it is. Let's go for it. Let's get the counter back out. What's that last card in hand? It's a Summoner's Pact.
Interesting. So this could get Sylvan's Safekeeper, I guess. Although if we're doing that, then it would make sense to do it first. Getting down to go. All right, so Drew is effectively saying here, I think the coast is clear. I want to maximize my odds of fully going off this turn.
Yeah, I like this. I think this is sick. There's also a mold of 5, ladies and gentlemen, on the draw. This deck is crazy. It's just nuts. Yeah. Hasn't won yet, but look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 opportunities. Every land we draw is another 2 opportunities. Safekeeper there. Let's go for Seer Stadium.
Spencer.
Nadu.
Okay, Nadu. Spencer. Outrider. So a motley crew going through. Okay, Saga. That's another one.
That is a real motley crew of cards in Magic the Gathering, isn't it? That he just rattled off.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
okay, that's going to lock it up. Because now we can call for another Spring Heart potentially. Or at some point, you can call for a second Nadu, and that resets everything. So every creature you have in play is then... you get 2 more triggers from everything. And yeah,
we're going to call for 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're calling for 3 here.
Calling for 2. Get second Nantuko and yeah, just keep re-rolling.
We tapped a mana we didn't need to then, right? Yeah, maybe we've got a mana floating that we missed. There's a fetch land. That's what we needed. Right. That's going to generate 2 more insects.
That's going to lock it up, I think. And we'll see how long Quentin wants to sit it out for.
Yeah,
but, there's the handshake. All right, so Drew Edward wins one of many, many Nadu mirrors across the weekend. Moves to 9-3. Stays in the running for top 8 contention. Quentin's still very much live for a nice chunk of change, but not going to be in the mix for top 8, we think. And so, yeah, Drew Edward, one of several Nadu decks in the hunt still. And as we wrap up here on round 13, going to tag in a new commentary duo for that in just a second. But yeah, going into the home stretch, a lot of birds and a lot of people trying to beat the birds.
Yeah, which is kind of that's where we're at in Modern at the minute, isn't it? Like you've got to bring the bird, or you got to bring a deck that can beat the bird, because a lot of people are going to bring it, and it's so powerful. It feels like you're not doing it right if you're not bringing that deck. It is so powerful. There's lots of different takes on it as well. We've seen the 4-color version there, the Naya version. Even shout out to Corey yet again. Yes, they're doing it in a Breach deck as well. So there's lots of different decks playing this powerful card with that powerful combo and having extra combos in it. So it's really cool to see, even with a format, I say solved, there's still different iterations of it coming across. It's pretty sick to see. But this is going to be the last round for me and you, Dom. We are going to get out of it. We are going to let the next 2 commentators come in. But before we do, we're going to have to give some shout outs to some beautiful people out there. And those beautiful people being our sponsors, of course. We have got Heavy Play sponsoring today's event. Huge shout out to them. Go check out their dice boxes, the play mats, the sleeves. They do so much cool stuff with magnets. It's really great. I cannot wait to get to America and pick some up myself. Shouting out TVU Network. They're providing the internet for today so everybody can watch this broadcast. If you're a fan of the bird or not, you can watch it either way. You can hear our beautiful voices going back and forward. We've got to shout out the production team. We've got Daddy Anu at home looking after the kids, but they still make sure we get this beautiful production value because we've got 2 amazing people sat behind the scenes. We've got Amber doing all the back and forth, getting us all the answers, putting us in the right place. And then we've got Richard going around sorting all the cameras out as well. So thank you to both of them. One last shout out to Amber on her birthday, ladies and gentlemen. If everybody just tune in, make sure you get the happy birthdays in to Amber. And the many, many returns to that one.
Of course. And
gone.
And I was just going to say, we will get out of here, turn it over to some less British casting duos for the home stretch here. We'll hand you over to Aya Karim Tamdani and Noor Singh for the final stretch here. They'll bring you the win-ins for round 13 as well as the top 8 here. But it's, as always, been a pleasure being here with you, Will. Happy birthday, Amber, of course. Shouldn't let that go without saying. And it's been fun bringing you all over Nadu's swan song in Modern Potentially. So hopefully it goes out with a bang. And we will see you back here for the final rounds here in just a second. Don't go anywhere.